In this video, we are going to answer the question, how do you find slope, which we also call rate of change, from a graph? The slope of a line M is the ratio of rise to run for any 2 points on the line. What's important to understand is that it's for any 2 points on the line. Oops, that color was white, so you couldn't see it that well. But here you go. For any 2 points on the line, any 2 points, you can find the slope using rise all over run. And what's really amazing about finding the slope from a line is that any 2 points will give you the same exact slope. So for this example here, we have a dot here and we made a dot here, and we're able to calculate the rise over run. If you rise going down, it's going to be negative, and if you rise up, it is going to be positive. If you run to the left, it is going to be negative, and if you run to the right, it is going to be positive. Not sure if you can see that well. Let's use a different color for that. There we go. It's going to be positive. Okay, we're going to use this graph to calculate slope, and we're going to do it of the red line and of the blue line. But before we begin working, you need to write down the graph. So pause the video, write down this graph, and then resume the video once you're ready to listen and jot down some extra notes on your graph. Okay, go ahead and I'll wait. Okay, I'll assume that you paused the video and that you are ready to move on and you've had this graph written down. So let's first focus on the red line. If I was to read the red line from left to right like I read a book, I can tell that this red line is going to have a positive slope. So our final answer has to be positive. If it's not, then we have the wrong slope for our line. And remember, you can take any 2 points on the graph, any 2 points, and calculate your slope. So I'm going to use these first 2 points to calculate the slope. And I'm going to do rise and run. And you can either do that below the line or you can do it above the line. So let me go and switch to red now, since we're going to be doing the red line. And if I'm going to do well, first let's remember that slope is rise all over run when you're looking at a graph. So if I was to look at these 2 dots, if I was to rise down 3, right, that's 1 unit, 2 units, and 3 units, then my slope will be m equals -3. And then I'm going to run to the left, and I'm going to be running 1, 2, 3, which is also -3. And -3 divided by -3 equals +1. And as you can see in my line here, my slope is always next to x, and it has a +1 as a slope. I can also use 2 other lines and get the same exact slope. So we're going to try 2 other lines. Let's go ahead and try, or 2 other points. Let's go ahead and try this point and this point here. And I'm going to calculate my slope, and it's still going to be the same slope. I can do it above the line or below the line. Let's do above the line this time. So I'm going to rise up 2, so my slope is going to be +2 since I'm going up 2, and then I'm going to be running over to the right, which is also positive, +2, and 2 over 2 equals 1. So once again, my same slope. We use 2 separate points each time, and I calculated different. It could be above or below the line. That's what's so freeing about slope, and what's so amazing about slope is I can do it with any 2 points, and I can do it above the line or below the line and still get the right slope. So let's go look at the blue line. Now first of all, if I'm going to read from left to right, then I'm going to be going down. So my slope for this line has to be negative. And actually the answer to it is already on the screen, so maybe you could find it. So let's first focus on these 2 lines here. This line here and this line here. If I calculate the slope, I can go above the line. Right here. Oops. Let's go and take this away. I can go above the line, or I can go below the line, which would be here to here. So let's go above the line, and we'll use blue this time since we're doing the blue line. So I'm going to rise up 2, So my slope is going to be up 2. And then I'm going to run over -1. All over -1. So my slope is going to be -2. And ta-da! Right here, I have -2 as my slope. And now let's look at 2 other points. Let's do this point down here and this point over here. I'm going to use these 2 points and still calculate the same slope. I can go above the line or I can go below the line and I'll still get the same slope. So here let's go down 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go down 4. Let's see where I can write this at. M equals -4. And I'm going to divide that by what I run, and I'm going to run over +2. So -4 divided by +2, if I reduce that, my answer is -2. And notice I still get the same exact slope, no matter where I do it on the line. But notice how the points land on the grids of the graph. Okay, and same thing happened when we did the slope for the red line. Okay, if this is a little confusing, go ahead and rewatch this segment of the video. I will help you find the slope of 2 lines. I have an extra credit opportunity for you. On a separate sheet of paper, I'd like you to draw this graph and calculate the slope of the red line and calculate the slope of the blue line. And hand that to me right when you walk into class. For our stretch tomorrow morning, we're going to actually calculate the slope of these 2 lines.